name is Raymond Tetekombi, focal person for Ghana National Platform of the Global Convergence of Land and Water Struggle, West Africa chapter. We are looking at climate change as a result of post-CoP 27, which ended last year in Egypt. We all know that there is a global warming as a result of climate change, and we have a diverse situation which bring up this situation. One has to do with long shift in weather and temperature pattern. We are here in Joma landing beach, where we have small scale fisher folks who draw fish for consumption, and they face a lot of challenges. One has to do with these polybags that dropped into the water whenever it rains. All this boils down to our human activity. As a result, there was a conference of presidents, global conference in Egypt, which seeks to address some of these issues. We think we are in modern era, so the way of living have changed from drinking directly from our cups, our calabash. Now we use what we call the sachet drinking water, and then the bottle ones. Even with the minerals that we drink, nowadays we don't normally drink them from the bottles, but we use the plastic bottles. And at the end of the day, all these waste are washed, eroded into the lake. When the fisher folks go onto the fishing, when they cast their net, they end up drawing more of these waste polybags than catching the fish. So it has become a challenge to them. The contact hours or the duration that they use on the water to draw a lot of fish is no more. There has been a change as a result of our human activities.
Young people, come and let's reason together. My name is Wisdom Kofi from Youth Volunteer for Environment, Ghana. We believe that the way to achieve the sustainable development goals that were signed in Paris Agreement has to do with leaving no one behind, and the young people are the force to push to the achievement of these important goals. Climate chaos, climate crisis in where the world is leading today is calling our caution, our attention to do something very important to change the climate change.
Apart from that, the activities of illegal miners, the so-called galamsey operators, because they use chemicals, these chemicals, as a result of that, it normally have a negative effect of the fisheries in the water. And also, where we are, Joma, we have the Ghana Water Company close to them, the wager, where they treat the water. Normally, when they treat the water, the waste, they draw it into the water. It also have effect on the animals, the fisheries in the water. Apart from that, the entire communities, normally they lock and they don't replace. So it has created a lot of challenge on the environment that has to do with high rise of temperatures.
What can we do? Our natural resources, water bodies, mountains, forests are the source of livelihood to us, to our communities. The food baskets, which produce us with quality food, supposed to be taken care of in order not to get them destroyed. To make sure that we attain the national determined contributions, who will help all the CSO working at the environmental sector. We as young people are not leaving community women and children behind, because we are involving them in understanding and taking challenges to change the climate change.
In those days, we have a lot of trees. Even when our elders will tell you this particular forest, we don't log, that is, we don't cut trees. But because of modernization, because of technology, what we normally ask is, what are the negative tendencies that we want to research, and we get back to tell them that no, it doesn't exist. They believe doesn't exist. These are some of the issues that is, killing us in terms of all this rise in weather temperatures.
When we look at the food insecurity and the food sovereignty that is waiting for us to take up as a challenge, community, grassroots organizations, and women are the general actors that we're supposed to engage in order to have a strong action or a strong achievement, so that in the near future we can see some considerable changes. We can achieve the below 1.5 that was decided at the last 2 CoP.
Some of the fisher folks, they use chemicals. Some of them use chemicals to draw the fish, which is not a good practice. You know, at the end of the day, it also have effect on our health, which is not too good.
When you look at the just ended CoP in Sharm el-Sheikh, we realize that the big CoPs are not the main solution to address the climate chaos. On the other hand, it will be better if fundings are targeted to our grassroots community who are taking care of what we are calling biodiversity, in order to take care of our forest reserves, our natural resources, and then Africa will not lose its biodiversity. The biodiversity, our land is our life. Our seed, our smallholder farmers are the source of producing organic foods that matter to us. We believe that food produced organically can contribute considerably to saving our nature, to saving our biodiversity, and that is Africa. We are all in it. Thank you.
My name is Richard Amebo. I'm a fish farmer here. And this community is called Joma. It's near Ablekuma. When you are passing, you pass through Ablekuma before coming to Joma. And it's a fishing community. We do fishing here, we do fish farm here, and we have local fisher folks who are working as well too. So here, for the climate change here, we have some of the challenges that is facing our work here. At times too, when it rains, we receive a huge mortality from our farm. And what we realize is that there are acidic rains. When it rains, they lack oxygen in the water. So all the fishes will come out just to sustain or survive. Because they are overcrowded, they will start dying, and we lost a huge share. And secondly, too, at times too, we receive a change of water. The waters that can get into this Densu River, they were polluted. In the process of galamsey operation and the rest too, when the water comes, you see the face milky. So when it's like that for 3 days, the fish will start dying. So we realize that the chemicals that they use are affecting the fish for us here. So these are the challenges we are having. And we are thinking again that Ghana waterways, when they have the downstream, when they want to do any process at all, they have the downstream. But because of the mountain here, when they treat the water, they have a reservoir, but the reservoir got broken and the remain is still getting into the water. So we're thinking that the chemical they use to treat the water is affecting the fishes in the water. During the dry season, the water go down. So when the water go down, there is no water coming inside. So you see the fishes started dying one by one. You go and you experience 1, 2, at times to 5 fishes come up. So as for that one, it's normal because when the water is drought, there is no water, the fresh water coming inside. There is gathering the polluted items. So that's result to that one. But if the water it starts raining, that one is normal. Here, for instance, we are doing marketing here, selling our fish here all the time. So as women, what we normally do is that we have a place that we pack our refuge and everything. And secondly, when every Sunday we do communal labor to clean the place for the rubbers and the plastic waste will not enter into this water. Because this water is what the whole of Accra depend on and part of the central region. So we are against it. If the government can help us to stop that, for this water to be alive.
Oyana bagisi. Etrana pa. Pesa o. Ye ponang. Kura. Ni mai pona customer ha krampo. Aka fifia. Adoma gaji mu. No ya mo ga ponanu. No yi krampo ha ao. Achi ha ma jajam la rurum. Ta wona ba mushan kata wo pasa na dila Joma. Anak magaji mu no ito jaklan anak kau.
Daddy no mo different and now no first ni yetumi nya nam bebre yentumi yempo na sisi ade ati kokra yenye nam nipa bebre ba som pe biato so ebini ho ye di ba mo e bia ba na ntoko na chemicals de me hu bi se obi di biegu na dentia yenye nam sisi an mintumi na ewura bi na abegin sunu na say no mintumi hu se ntina sisi entumi nyena.
One very good way in which we can mitigate the impact of climate change is when we adopt the agroecology. Agroecology, because not only are you interested in the food that you generate from the farm, but you have a whole ecosystem where water quality is being assured, where there's carbon sequestration, and all the other elements come to play. You are protected. That makes the farmer more resilient to the impact of climate change, because it helps you to adapt. And because of the cover crop that you have when you are doing agroecology, you also contribute positively to taking in some of the carbon dioxide that would be allowed into the atmosphere.
So what we are advising the general public is that those who smoke any activity that we find ourselves, the farmers, the hunters, they should able to know how best to conduct their activities so that it will not end up setting fire in the environment, which will also destroy property and life.
Whatever control your food controls you. So it is so much important for us to engage in any activity that can address the climate change issue. Here ends the COP27. Here coming COP28. Are the big COPs a solution to our challenges we're facing in Africa? Indigenous people are the key when it comes to agroecology, when it comes to protection of our environment, our biodiversity. These are the people who are supposed to be allies that we work with in order to address or to change the climate change, so that we do not see ourselves in the climate chaos we are seeing ourselves today.